going can really be the, I guess, the instrument of change to really get things going. And this first project, the building between the extension of the Selkirk Hotel, Windsor block, in between the Selkirk Hotel and the Capitol Theatre, that is really the linchpin, the foundation, the cornerstone of some really much larger activities in the park that will create really a world-class facility that will be second to none, and really amazing place that people all around the world will continue to want to come to. And I know, as I heard earlier, when Jeff initially approached a few of us, it really seemed like it's time to do it. And so it was 50 years ago that Fort Edmonton was started, and it's going to be Rotary 100th birthday in this district coming up in 2016. So we think the timing is just perfect. We've been working at this around the edges and in the middle for a couple of years now. Our lane has been a big part of the committee that we've had over the last couple of years, and has had about another 20 clubs in the Edmonton area in this district. We're really at the stage now where lots of background work has been done. We're ready to start getting committees going for fundraising exercises and starting to get some funding done. And I know Jeff will have some more to say about that too. But we're really excited about this, and really believe it's going to be a great project for lots of Rotarians in this district to work together on. And it's not to supplant or replace other projects that each club are doing, but rather we're hopeful that we'll come up with other ideas that, again, we can all work together on to create new fundraising concepts and plans, so that it's, yes, we will be asking for some money from each club, but not to I guess, bite in too much to what you're already doing, because we all have projects that we're all working on and have been a part of the fabric of each of our clubs, but this is something over and above that we can do together.
I think one of the things, as we've gone to different clubs and shared this video with them, most clubs are surprised throughout the district that actually Rotary played such a big part in the formation of Fort Edmonton Park as well. And it comes as a surprise because we're saying, well, Rotary really helped create this vision. So if you want to talk about community service, I can't think of a better example of a community service project that really provides legacy for Rotary. And when I first came on the board of the Fort Edmonton Management Company, I felt here's an opportunity for us as Rotarians to really bring back the emphasis that Rotary really created in having this dream built in Edmonton as well. So I appreciate that you're in Spruce Grove, but I mean all of us are in the greater Edmonton area, and we all have an opportunity of sharing and enjoying all of the facilities within the greater Edmonton region. The only thing that I felt was important was that it had to be something that was a significant project for Rotary, and it had to be something that was visual. So we really wanted on that building, on that addition, part of the things that Jim and I have said to the Fort Edmonton management people as well, saying one of the things that has to happen is there has to be a Rotary wheel on that building, because there's no point in spending any effort and time unless we get a visual of what Rotary really did, because there's very few visuals around that park that really give it the emphasis that we need. So the visual was really important. And the other thing that it had to be is it had to be provide a legacy as well. And so the fact that it's the extension to the hotel, that extension to the hotel can do so many more things to promote the park as well. There just aren't enough hotel rooms the way it is right now. So this building will provide more hotel rooms. It'll provide the dining facility for 250. The Rotary District has been working with us to look at moving their office there as well, and we're trying to accommodate all of their needs. And it's a great meeting place, so I mean, what better place than to have it at Fort Edmonton? But part and parcel of the bigger picture of what's in store for Fort Edmonton is that over the next 10 years, the plan was to really to raise over $100 million to really develop that park. That park consists of 160 acres, and there's still many parts of the park that are available to be developed. And Lewis Cardinal has been very instrumental in working on developing an Aboriginal component to that park as well. And we've got a number of ministers who are very excited, although if you listen to Alison Redford, maybe there isn't a lot of money right now, but we're looking at a longer term picture on this thing, and those types of things, whether it's Aboriginal affairs or cultural, feel that this is another way that they can contribute. Alberta Tourism is also involved in coming up with a way of putting money into this project as well. We thought initially that when we started on this particular building that it was going to be around a $5 million project. It has since changed somewhat in its scope, and the requirement of the park is requiring even more square footage than what we had originally planned on. So we're probably looking at between a $10 and a $15 million bill by the time you add the extension. Now, Rotarians aren't going to raise that total amount of money, but Rotarians can certainly influence a number of other people who do have the money to be able to, to support that project as well. But I am actually going to take more of a role in the foundation. There's two parts to the park: the foundation, which is the money raising, and then of course the Edmonton Management Company. I'm still on the Fort Edmonton Management Board, and I'm also going to be the liaison with the foundation and looking at some of the significant donors that are interested in supporting it, such as some of the lending institutions that would be very interested in supporting this a project like this as well. This is a great community project, and I just don't want Rotary to be lost in the development of this as well, because Rotary, as you can see from the video, is a huge part of why that park exists today. So one of the things that is happening on the 11th of May, I'll let you maybe share about that, what's going to happen, and you're all welcome to come to that.
I'm sure you probably heard that on the 11th of May, the current Rotary International president is going to be here. And that's never happened, I don't think, for a long, long time. So we're really blessed and fortunate. So Kevin Hilgers, bless his heart, thought it would be a great idea to try and work the president's, I guess he has a fondness for really getting active and getting his hands dirty, cleaning up streets and helping communities. So we're going to go to Fort Edmonton, and he'll be a part of helping clean up Fort Edmonton for the morning. We'll have some other things. It'll be a bit of a barbecue and a fun afternoon. That will precede some other more formal kinds of events that evening. But it's going to be a great day at Fort Edmonton for Rotarians, a chance for new membership opportunities. We can get some other folks who might want to learn about Rotary and Fort Edmonton all at the same time and about the project. So it's going to be a great day in May for all of us to get together and have a good time, help clean up, and learn a little bit more about this project and our president as well.
This is probably an opportunity now for you to ask us some questions. I know we gave you just a pretty quick thumbnail of what we're doing, but please ask any questions you can, and Jim and I will try and answer them as best we can. John?
Jeff, I really like the idea of having this building ready to commission for the 100th anniversary, which is 2016.
Correct.
That means you've got to start pretty soon. So what's your timeline on beginning construction?
Well, we have a construction really, if you want to finish this thing in the spring of 2016, which is really the goal, you have to be in the ground in the spring of 2015. I mean, it's going to take a year, maybe not that long, but to me that would be the very best time to shoot as far as the target is concerned. There are a number of meetings that are set up at this point through Doug Goss, who's the chair, used to be the chair of the foundation, is now chair of the management company. Doug is very well connected in many of the different circles that are very familiar with fundraising, and he and I actually have a meeting on Monday with the cultural minister and the Aboriginal Affairs, whoever's looking after that ministry as well, to talk about the bigger picture as far as what we can do. What I was afraid of is that as we were working on moving forward, we're still going to work with the different Rotary clubs and look for support. We also want to have a large fundraising event that will be unique and different. Some experiences that you wouldn't get anywhere else if you weren't involved with Fort Edmonton. We're going to do some of that. But we really need to move forward now with the fundraising on many, many different levels. But what I was concerned about was that we might be stepping on each other's toes with the foundation if we, as a Rotary club, would. So that's why I'm involved in the foundation now, to make sure that we don't preempt the opportunity. Like the one lending institution, for example, was committed $250,000 to our project. Well, if we need $5 million, now it's 10. Then really, I don't want. And this financial institution probably has the ability to, maybe donate $2 or $3 million over a 5-year period. So we want to make absolutely sure that when we approach people for fundraising, we're doing it in the right way. And those are the kinds of things that we're working on.
When we started to gather some momentum with this project, started realizing it was not going to be a $5, but maybe a $10 or $15 million project. The foundation also was getting more excited and realized they were getting closer to wanting to realize their master plan, which would have meant raising some $100 million. And so as Rotary clubs creating Windsor block are asking for smaller asks, and the Ford Edmonton Foundation looking for larger asks, but still asking the same people, we wanted to make sure it was done together in a harmonious and collaborative fashion. So that's why we're taking a bit different approach right now. We need to get going on both fronts, on the larger picture, but also getting our Rotary area clubs organized and some, again, fundraising initiatives and whatnot, and starting to have a real project that's going to be going. It's not going to be as complicated as the arena, so we won't need to
But
we won't need to get it around.
yeah, and John, by April or May, we're going to have more of those details fleshed out as well.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Yes, Fred.
What would you say you'd like our club to do today?
You can write a check, but I think that's probably the easy answer. You know, Marlene, you've been a great supporter of this project right from the very beginning. So I think as more of these plans are fleshed out, she'll be part of that. She'll be able to come to you and say, this is what the plans are right now. So today I will just tell you this though, that there have been a number of Rotarians who have individually come forward and donated anything from $1,000 to $30,000 who have put money into this particular project just because they want to. So there's no magic about that. We just appreciate anything that anybody can do. But as a club, we'll be coming back with other.
I also see us, I hope, and maybe as ambassadors to it. Because there certainly has been the discussion that, oh, it's just Edmonton. Well, we're certainly close neighbors, but I see it totally, I've got a family in Slave Lake, as a tourist destination, and I think for all our clubs right up to Dawson Creek, it can become a little home away from home if we have that presence at the park. And so until, the ask for the money is certainly there in the background, but it is the time and just the excitement. And seeing it coming, I hadn't seen that, and that's just great. From the time of our last meeting that's happened. And it started out, we were looking at a dock in the river, we were looking at, a number of things that maybe Rotary could get involved in, and so the group kind of narrowed it to this, and I just think it is so exciting. The first time I took grandkids to Fort Edmonton, they found the Rotary wheel. I was just new into Rotary, and they were so excited that they saw it. I hadn't even noticed it, so I had no knowledge of that connection, and I think for us to look at something, it isn't just Edmonton, Fort Edmonton, and our whole pioneer history has just wonderful linkages there.
This is the legacy component as well, because as clubs and individual Rotarians, this is going to allow us to actually do a better job of recruiting Rotarians as well. When you have such an incredible world-class example of what is possible for Rotary, I think it's going to be a great way for our clubs to be able to recruit new members.
We're planning on having a bit of a Rotary walk in the expansion. So there will be permanent exhibits of Rotary involvement either in Fort Edmonton and elsewhere. So it'll be, again, a reminder and a useful membership drive tool. But very few people actually realize that Fort Edmonton, next to West Edmonton Mall, is this region's largest tourist gatherer. It is. It brings lots of people. And so, again, the opportunity for all these folks to see Rotary in action is a great opportunity.
Yes?
I'm just a little confused. How are we just raising money just for the hotel, or it's $10 million for the hotel?
Yes.
Yeah, the expansion to the hotel, depending on what other things are added to it, by the time you equip it, and it's that part of it is about a $10 to $15 million, depending on when it gets built and how costs escalate and everything. We're saying that it's at least $10 million. It could go as high as 15, but it's probably going to be somewhere between those two numbers.
So if you're out in the street in front, you'd see on one side the Capitol Theater, and you'd see the Selkirk Hotel in the corner, and then you'd see the facade of what we've referred to as Windsor Block. But behind that, inside, would be a large ballroom, where, as Jeff said, we could house 250 other meeting rooms where people could use, hopefully a Rotary office. And in the second floor and third floor, there would be rooms for, additional rooms that would be connected right to the Selkirk Hotel.
For those of you who have been to the hotel before, they're very, very strapped for catering facilities as well. So part and parcel of this addition, and that's why the cost and scope has changed, is they need additional catering facilities as well. So that's part of the plans on the expansion as well. Yes?
Jeff, at the end of the day, once the hotel is built and so on and so forth, who owns the hotel?
The way the whole Fort Edmonton structure is set up is that all of the assets belong to the city of Edmonton. Anything that's put into that park belongs to the city of Edmonton. They assume the responsibility of the maintenance and the care of that facility. Fort Edmonton Management Company was formed 3 years ago to actually run the park and move it away from the city actually running the park. So the way it is right now is there's a marketing director, there's a general manager, the hotel is run separately. Everything is run as an independent business. And the challenges for the management company, and I've been part of the finance committee on the management end of it as my role as a director. And one of the hardest things to have resolved is how do you extract exact numbers? Because you'd have a number of union employees, you'd have a number of different things happening at the park, and some of the employees would work at the zoo, some of them would work part-time at the zoo, part-time at Fort Edmonton, then they'd be off somewhere at a skating rink somewhere doing something else. And it was really hard to track and keep tabs, if you like, of what people are doing, but it was also hard to be able to capture the exact costs of what everything costs to run that park. So you're trying to make a business decision when you don't have the total information. Now I can tell you with confidence that 3 years later, we're at a point where we can really help make some real hard decisions about how things should be done to enhance the experience for people that are there. How do we give people better service? What are some of the things that the park needs? So it's working much, much better right now. And actually, this year, we're going to generate a surplus, which of course goes right back into the park to provide additional services as well.
So will Rotary be tied into that, like down the road, say that when the hotel is built and it does start making money, will Rotary get credit for that somehow, or will some of that money get channeled into the foundation of Rotary?
No, the visual and the legacy of this whole thing is really, it's a one-time contribution, if you like. You get the visual and you get the legacy of having Rotary's ability to use the facility as well at a discounted rate compared to other people that want to use the facility as well, which is one of the things that we talked about up front as well, with Fort Edmonton making sure that the district would have preferential treatment in terms of booking and use of the space as well. So those are some of the paybacks to Rotary.
Thank you.
Time for one more question.